Stories of demon dogs have haunted humanity for centuries. Black hounds on lonely roads, omens of death that follow travelers in the night. But among these tales, there is one far older, far darker. Not a hound trained by demons, not a beast summoned by witches, but a creature born in the deepest pit of hell itself. A monster that should never have been. A demon dog forged not by hands, but by blood, torment, and eternity itself. This is my story of how I was born and how I crawled out of the depths of the abyss. No one knew when it began, not Lucifer, not his demons, not the damned themselves. It simply happened. I was born in the lowest realm of Dante's Inferno, the ninth circle, Cocytus. It was a frozen lake of black ice, where traitors were buried beneath the surface. Some trapped to their necks, some sealed entirely, with only their eyes shifting beneath the crystal prison. Above them, the wings of the King of Hell himself beat endlessly, a blizzard sharp enough to flay flesh from bone, keeping the lake colder than death. Here, time had no meaning. Here, silence ruled, broken only by crackling of ice and the faint muffled moans of the damned. Then, at some point, it began, with a drip, a single drop of black blood slipping through the cracks above. Then another and another. For centuries, blood had fallen, not just blood, but grief, sorrow, rage, and despair. The runoff of every circle above, all the misery of hell itself, trickling downward into the dark. It gathered at the heart of the Cocytus, forming a mound, swollen, pulsing like a diseased heart. The traitors saw it. They tried to scream, but their mouths were locked in ice. Only their eyes begged as the mound split open, and from it I emerged. At first I was nothing but a shadow, a hulking shape on 4 legs. 10 feet tall, I was dripping with the black liquid of my birth. The heat of the creation steamed against the eternal frost. My jet black hide, scarred with different symbols I did not yet understand. Ghostly blue eyes opened. I opened my eyes. They were filled with rage and the agony of countless souls. I did not howl. I did not bark. I did not make a sound. I simply stood, breathing, taking everything in. And then I just began to walk. The traitors stared in terror. One, frozen to his neck, managed to whisper through cracked lips, "Please, kill me. End this." I turned my head. I studied him. And then I lowered my jaws and crushed his skull with one bite. For a moment, Cocytus fell silent. The moans beneath the ice stopped. Every soul knew something had changed. Something different has arrived down here. I felt his essence sink into me, his soul extinguished and absorbed into my core. I felt my symbols light up all across my body. And then something noticed me. Some creatures, they were different. I don't know. They just noticed. One of them, slithering forward, a demon wraith, body made of jagged eyes, its hollow face cracked like shattered glass. It dragged heavy chains behind it, the tools used to bind the greatest traitors of the ninth circle. It hissed at me, "Backhound, kneel before your new master." But I did not kneel. I did not obey. I only stared, my eyes locked on its hollow socket, as one will watch an insect squirm. The wraiths shrieked in rage and swagged its chain. I caught them in my jaws. I snapped them with a single bite and yanked the creature forward. It fell at my feet, screeching, flailing. I raised my paw, and with a single stomp, I smashed its skull, which burst into 1,000 shards, scattering across the lake like broken glass. The silence returned once more, but it was different, heavy, afraid. For in all the history of Cocytus, no hound had ever refused command, no beast had ever killed its keeper. But I was not their hound, I was not their servant. I was the will of millions, given flesh, and I had just taken my first steps in this new world. The shards of wraith still littered the ice, its hollow head ground to powder beneath my paw. I stood for a while, and then I walked. Hungry, I thought, so hungry. The hunger was an endless pit. It pushed me forward. Each step cracked the glass beneath my paws. The sinners stared with panic in their eyes, frozen in their eternal prisons, unable to do anything but just watch. A strange feeling passed through me. Then a question. What if? I drew a paw into the ice and struck hard. I tore away the brittle crust and freed the sinner beneath. He screamed and stumbled as he tried to run. He was weak, so weak. 2 steps perhaps, and before he could go any further, my instincts took over. I seized him and bit through bone and frozen flesh. Then I swallowed. It felt right. The hunger eased, the soul folded into me and became part of my core. His memories, the lies, the bargains, the small betrayers that tasted of old wine, unspooled inside me and stitched themselves into sigils on my flank. For a moment, the blue glow along those marks brightened, then ebbed. From that first feeding, I realized something essential. I would have to feed to learn about my existence and the meaning of the symbols covering my body. I kept devouring, ending the torture cycle of the prisoners. Each soul I consumed taught me more about this place, its denizens, and finally about myself and my purpose. I do not know how long I wandered that frozen plain. Time is meaningless in hell. Hours fall into years, years into nothing. Days, months, eons, those names mean little here. I moved, hunted, fed. I hunted other creatures, scavengers, small wardens born of scorn, demons scraped from the edges of other realms. If a thing showed hostility, I snapped its neck before it could even finish its hiss. Their essence were not like trapped dead. When I ate those things, it was like swallowing molten iron, vile and invigorating. The sigils along my hide flared raw red with every demon I felt. Each kill sent a rush through me that satiated the slow ache of the hunger inside. It was so addictive, that I couldn't wait for the next kill. There were other tests, subtler and more poisonous. Some watchers did not come at me with their claws, they came with words. One crawled up from a fissure, a towering thing, formed of a black ice and broken chains. Its limbs were long, jagged spears, its chest hollow, filled with frozen tongues severed from oath breakers. Hound it could with an authoritative voice. How dare you leave your post? You should be punished for leaving and causing havoc down here. Then it stopped. You look different. What are you? You look like a hellhound, yet different. What are those symbols? It doesn't matter. You should become mine and do my bidding as the dog that you are. It reached for my fur. Without a second thought, I grabbed its icicle arm and with my teeth bit through it like it was nothing. The creature shrieked. How dare you? I will not let this slide. You will pay with your soul. With those words, it melted into the ice and vanished in seconds. The fact that it vanished was annoying, but not important. I had a purpose. I still had to find the exit. After that encounter, something shifted. The weird-shaped creatures that roamed around torturing souls and usually attacked on sight started avoiding me and hiding from me. I heard their whispers. It's the hound, that one, the one who devours souls. How dare it take our food? Disgusting abomination. Shh, it can't hear us. It killed thousands of our kind and even tore one of the arm of the watchers, the one from Azeroth. I gave them no attention. Their essence was not worth taking. I wanted to live. I felt an urgency like never before. It was different from the usual hunger, but as strong, forcing me to move and keep searching. Then I saw it. In the middle of the icy plain stood a titan, half buried beneath the ice. It exuded a presence that made my fur rise. I had avoided it, but the place felt like the one I had not yet investigated. I ran. Even with my speed, it took time to arrive. Up close, it was larger than I had imagined. Even with my size, I was small beside it. It looked down at me and spoke. So you finally arrive. I watched you from the moment you were born. An interesting creature. Alien even for hell standards. It said, I did not expect human souls to produce such an abomination. Fascinating. Those symbols, even I cannot recognize them. What do you wish for, Hound? Why do you stand before me, the king of hell? Do you wish to work for me? You will be rewarded with whatever you wish. I looked up and spoke for the first time since my birth. My voice scraped like metal. Words came through growls. I want to get out, I said. I want freedom. The king laughed, causing shockwaves across the plain. Very well. I will indulge you for the entertainment you can provide. He swiped a hand. A staircase formed, rising upward. You can climb those stairs. The freedom you seek lies up. I moved toward the stairs. When I got close, 3 huge creatures rose to guard them. One I recognized, the watcher that escaped. It had grown a new arm. It hissed and spat. I looked up at the titan. He said nonchalantly, What did you expect? That it would be so easy? I will not let you go after the souls you stole. You must prove you are worthy. These are the three guardians of this floor. If you win and provide me with the entertainment, you may go up. They are different from what you are used to, and at least one of them wants something from you. What is your decision? Before me stood three creatures, all larger than me. The king introduced them mockingly. From the left, Belmora, the weeping queen, a giant feminine figure frozen waist deep in the ice, her upper body pale and cracked. Her hair is made of writhing frozen infants, each crying without sound. Her eyes are hollow sockets that drip eternal tears of blood. Zereth the betrayer's maw, a colossal worm-like beast that slithers beneath the ice, its body bristling with jagged teeth, breaking the surface. Its head is a gaping maw lined with thousands of human hands, each clutching daggers, its breath so cold that it burns. And then, that's your friend, the king sneered. Azeloth, the chain keeper. I believe you met him. From the time I was born, I had not fought anyone I would call truly formidable. This time was different. All my senses screamed danger. It was not one creature, but three. I breathed slowly. My body burned hot. My breath hissed like fire. My eyes ignited. King stopped laughing. His face studied me. Indeed, those traits are not of this realm. Let's see what it can do. Perhaps useful in the future. Then, without a second thought, I attacked. Chains erupted from the ice, dozens coiling around my legs, throat, and tail. Each link bit cold into my flesh. Azeloth loomed, arms like spears raised high. One plunged down, impaling my shoulder. The crack of glass rang across Cocytus. I roared and ripped free, spraying blood across the ice. I shattered one chain, but more tightened. I lunged and clamped my jaws around Azeloth's hollow chest, ripping frozen tongues from within. Its shriek split the air. Then Velmora answered. Her wail hit me like a hammer. My skull rang, my legs faltered. Infants tore free from her hair and swarmed me, biting and clawing, their teeth sinking deep into my wounds. I crushed them by dozens, but their numbers did not end. Her tears fell like knives, exploding into jagged shards that cut me open. Blood hissed against the frost. King's voice mocked from the above. Struggling already? You wish to climb but cannot stand against the chains and cries? Then the ice exploded. Zereth erupted beneath me, maw-wide. I was swallowed whole. Hands lined its throat, stabbing and clawing on my sigils, trying to rip the souls from me. My body crushed tight, ribs cracking under the pressure. I thrashed, suffocating in blackness. I forced my jaws open and bit deep into its throat. Flesh tore. Hot ichor poured over me. I ripped and clawed until I burst out of its neck in a spray of gore. Zerth shrieked and sank back beneath the ice. I staggered, bleeding heavily. The three circled, pressing from every side, chains dragging me down, infants groaning my back, the worm's maws snapping beneath me. For a moment I faltered, vision dimmed, my body sagged. The souls inside me screamed. their voices merging into one word: freedom. I ignited. The sigils along my body blazed, searing the chains until they shuddered. I roared and howled, then hurled Azazel to the ground. Its arms broke under my weight. I crushed its hollow chest again, ripping its core apart. Their shrieks ended in silence. Velmora wailed louder, her storm tearing the plain. I leapt through the torrents, hide shredded and bleeding. I seized her face and breathed fire into her hollow sockets. Porcelain cracked, melted, and her head burst apart in my jaws. The infants turned to dust, their souls flooding into my sigils. Zareth struck again. Its maw closed around me, dragging me down. I bit into its side and held on it as it rolled, trying to crush me. My ribs broke, pain searing through me, but I ripped deeper, tearing through rows of clutching hands. With one final bite, I split its skull in two. The worm convulsed, collapsed, and lay still. I rose trembling, body torn and bleeding, ribs shattered, but I stood. The sigils burned like fire, steady, unyielding. Hunger surged. I devoured the three guardians, absorbing their spirits. Their essence fueled me. Their screams vanished into my core. My wounds closed, though the scars remained. The king of hell watched in silence, then slowly clapped. His eyes gleamed. Yes, interesting, very entertaining, worthy, perhaps. And he left it at that. He motioned towards the stairs. A deal is a deal. Climb. But remember, what you seek is nothing but an abstract dream. You will be disappointed if you believe escaping hell will grant it. And before you go, I got a gift for you. A name, since only the most worthy ones are deserving of one down here. Fenrir. How does that sound? It reminds me of an ancient creature that almost swallowed the world. Like you are devouring everything. You got that similar hunger. I nodded, and then began to ascend the stairs. The last words I heard were a whisper that clung to the ice. There is no such thing as freedom for anyone, but you'll be useful. And with that, dear viewers, we end the first part of our series. If you're interested to hear what happens next, please subscribe, leave a comment and a like so I can bring more and better stories in the future. Have a good night.